Chef K here. I'm back for season 2, and today I'm gonna start you off taking your taste buds traveling in colonial times. That's right, we're here on my stomping grounds, historic Yorktown, Williamsburg, and Jamestown settlement. And we are going to have a blast. I'm gonna kick you off with peanut soup. I did say peanut soup. We're gonna put a little curry in there. And that's one of the favorites of the colonial days. They had that peanut soup right here, right in Virginia, where they have tobacco and peanuts. That's our crops at that time. So we're gonna show you how to do that. Ginger cakes, sound good? Perfect with a nice cup of coffee. We're gonna do that. And then orange creamsicles. Yeah, orange creamsicle, you remember those? Well, this is like an orange custard they made back in that time. That's when it started. So hang with me. We're gonna have some fun today, going back in time. Hey, so Chef K here, like I said, we're going back in time in the colonial days. We're gonna kick it off today making a butternut squash soup. This is really good. It got the peanut in it, it's got the curry in it, and it's got full of vitamins. And guess who you can get to eat it too? Your kids, and they have no idea they're eating something so healthy. But we're gonna start it off today that I've got some nice butternut squash chopped here. But some people say, Chef, I always see them in the store, but I'm not really sure how to go about this thing. Well, it isn't, not that hard. It's not that difficult. You can just go ahead and take the top off. I'll show you how to do one, and this is one right out of my garden. So we grew this ourselves. We're gonna pull that out, chop out those seeds. Then you wanna get just a nice chop on this end. Then take it real easy, peel it just down like that. It's just, you don't have to worry about those potato peelers. Now you can, I've seen a lot of people do it. I do it just faster by just going down it with the edge with the knife. So I just take it down each side and peel it just like that. And you're done. And then we are able to just chop it up in chunks, just like this. So we're gonna put this in our pan. And I'm gonna get my burner going, get some heat on this, and we'll get right back to it. So we've got our pan heating up. Now I'm gonna bring a little bit of olive oil in here and just give it a nice little, just coat the bottom just slightly. Oh yeah, perfect. Then we're gonna bring in our veggies. We've got some garlic. You hear that sizzle already starting. We're gonna go ahead and pour in our butternut squash. What's fun with this, and this is what I kind of like to do, is there's a lot of butternut squash and peanut soups that they use a lot of butter in and a lot of cream. Nothing wrong with that, love those flavors. But we want to make sure that we're putting something healthy in there and give the good vitamins to it. So instead of using butter and cream to sweeten it, I use a little bit of baby carrot. So that brings in another sweetness to it and gives it all kinds of fun flavor. We're gonna do a little bit of sweet onion. We're gonna saute these veggies up. Once we get them sauteed, we're gonna pour a little bit of veggie broth on there. You can use chicken broth if you want, but if you're trying to keep it vegetarian, you can go with the veggie broth, no worries. So we're gonna bring in our peanut butter and our curry after we get all this cooked up and softened up. I'm gonna bring that broth in. You hear those sizzling? They're ready to go. Cover that with that broth. We're gonna get it nice and covered. We're gonna put the lid on here. We're gonna let that butternut squash talk to that onion talk to that garlic. We're gonna let them all with that carrot in there and let them have a little party and soften up. Then we'll come back and finish up the soup. While we're doing that, then let's try to think about those ginger cakes. Let's put them together. What do you think? All right, I'll see you in just a bit. Okay, we've got that soup going, that peanut soup. Everything's getting cooked up and having a party in that pot. And then we'll come back to that and show you how to finish it up. Now, we're gonna get on to our ginger cakes. So we're gonna kick this off with mixing all of our dry ingredients first. And then we're gonna put a little butter in there and get that blended in. We're gonna put some molasses together with some cream, get that kind of whisked together, then heat it up a little bit, and then pour it in and make our dough. Then we're gonna get that rolled up in a ball, let it sit for a little bit, we'll roll it back out, make the most amazing ginger cakes you ever had. Are you ready for it? So we're gonna kick off with about 2.5 cups of flour. And we're gonna bring in 2/3 cup sugar with it. We're gonna bring in some salt, just about 1/4 teaspoon. Getting all the dry ingredients in first. And about we're gonna do just a little bit of a teaspoon of baking soda, not powder. Then we're gonna bring in our ginger. And we want plenty of that because it is a ginger cake. So we wanna make sure we're getting a whole tablespoon of ginger in there. A little bit of ground nutmeg, about a teaspoon or so. And then just some cinnamon. bringing in about a teaspoon of cinnamon. So we've got all of that together. It's already smelling delicious. I love that smell. So we're just kind of blend our nice dry ingredients, let them get all mixed up in there. And then we're gonna do what we call taking our little, look at this little weapon here, the kitchen weapon. It's our cutter that we're gonna cut in the butter. And what we wanna do is, instead of like melting butter, like you do with some things and you put it in there, you put it all together as a melter, that would make it kind of like a solid brick whenever it cooks up. So this cuts in the butter in different places, so when you roll out your dough, it's kind of got these little notches of butter in there, and it does its own thing when it's baking. It's an awesome, fun effect. And then you have beautiful little flakiness and yummy deliciousness. What do I say now? Yummaliciousness, that's right. All right, so we've got these blended up. I'm throwing stuff everywhere. It's a party, you know. So we're gonna put our butter in there, get each piece down in there, and that's a whole stick of butter we're gonna cut into this. And then we're just gonna start doing that and getting that blended up. There you go. You can get aggressive with it, it's okay. Not too crazy though. I'm gonna get it in there, see how that's breaking that up. Can you see? Yeah. All right, poof, there goes the flour. It's okay, you know, that's the one thing I have to say. I'm kind of crazy. I don't like to make big messes, but when you're baking, you can't stop it. It just goes everywhere. The flour has a mind of its own, so you might as well just let it happen. I've learned my lesson. But look at there, we've got that all cut in, and we're gonna bring in our molasses now. And we have about a half a cup of molasses that we're gonna put into our pot and let this stuff blend out a little bit. You can just get that off there. Make sure you get those, you wanna make sure all that butter gets down in there. So we're gonna turn this on, get it heated up a little bit, kicking it on, and then we're gonna bring in our molasses. All right, so we're pouring our molasses right in here. We're just gonna heat this up just so it blends a little bit. Get it all in there best you can, you know. Awesome. So we're gonna bring in about a couple of tablespoons of cream to that. And while this is heating up, I'm just gonna keep kind of a constant stir on it and make sure that we get it all blended, heated, and doing fine. Once we get that blended up, we're gonna add it to our dough and roll that all together. All right, look at that, it's beautiful. Okay, we got this perfect now. That's just all we needed to get that nice and blended, and just enough heat to kind of make it nice. Look at that beautiful color. There we go. So we're gonna bring that into our dough. And this is where it's gonna get sticky, folks. So you gotta be ready. But if you got some kids around too that like to get the sticky fingers, that's okay. Have them have some fun and play in the dough. All right, now we're gonna go in. We're gonna first start, I'm gonna do a little bit, just kind of folding it in with this spoon, and then once we get it where it can be going in, we're gonna get our fingers in there and make it into a ball. Get it, oh yeah, look at that. See, it's blending in nicely. It smells so good. I don't know if, I'm ginger anything. Ginger ale, ginger cookies, ginger bread, ginger biscuits, anything. So this is like one of my favorites. And it's good, it brings kind of a, you remember I put that butter in there, I put that salt in there, and so it gives a like sweet flavor, but not too sweet. It gets that nice saltiness to it too. Now we've got this almost ready, and we're gonna start putting it into the dough. We're gonna make it into a ball as we keep going, and you're just gonna wanna keep getting those dry ingredients incorporated with that moisture and getting all of that together. It's gonna end up being a nice big ginger ball that we're gonna turn into the ginger cakes. So come back, I'll see you in just a minute. I'll show you how we're gonna get that ball rolling. All right, we got our dough all set to go. Look at that, nice. I got my hands all dirty. I lived through it though, I'll be all right. And now I'm ready. I got them clean again, and we're ready to roll. Literally, it's time to roll out the dough and make our little cookies. I call them ginger cakes, ginger cookies. I don't know, I just call them everything. So we're gonna put a little flour on everything, get our rolling pin all set here, a little bit of flour underneath. You wanna make sure you're doing that so you don't have any problem with it sticking on you. And this is one of my K-hacks, you like this? So instead of always having to sprinkle the flour, I like to just keep it right in here, and then you can just sprinkle it real easy. Works great whenever you're making sauces in a pan too. Let's say you want to do that with a piece of meat, you just sprinkle that right on there, and then you go ahead and get that, and you don't have to worry about sprinkling it all out. Works a little easier. K-hack, remember. All right, so we're gonna press this down as much as we can. And get it nice and flat. And then we're gonna start rolling. Make sure I got enough flour on here. All right. And you just want to kind of work it each way. Keep moving your pin around there. Get it nice and flat. You're going to want to take this down to about 1/4 of an inch because we want these to be, like I said, kind of in between a snap, a ginger snap, and a ginger kind of soft cookie. So that's what we're looking for. So we want to roll that out nice and thin for that. There we go. Don't worry about it splitting a little bit on the edges. You're not going to worry about that. You're going to go ahead and get it right in the center, get it rolled out, get it tucked in, and those edges will just go away and we can redo them, roll them back out after we cut away. So we're gonna keep doing that with this. Get it rolled out nice and thin. I think I've got that one just about perfect. We've got a pizza oven. Wood-fired pizza oven, that's right. And that's what I'm gonna use because back in the day, they used wood-fire ovens in the colonial days and they cooked these up. So I don't have an actual wood-fired oven, but I got a pizza oven. They're not just for pizza anymore, baby. We're gonna put these ginger cakes in there. So you wanna take your biscuit cutter and just go with it. Go ahead and cut several out. And you can get as close as you can so you can get as many as you can in there. Get back out of there, you silly thing. All right. And look at that, we got a nice setup. We're gonna put this on here, give it just a little flour again. Not too much on this. This is so I can slide them off onto the pizza stone inside that oven. We've got it fired up. Lay these guys right on here. Look how cute, oh my goodness. Don't you just, I know, I can't wait for it to get out of the oven. All right, here we go. One more there. Go ahead and pop this in and we're gonna get our first batch in and keep making those. So let's take them over to the oven. Here we go. All right, we've got our pizza oven right here. I'm just gonna slide these guys right off in there. Nice and easy. Close this up. We've got this fired up. It's about 500 degrees in there right now. So it's not gonna take as long. Now you're gonna do a 375-degree oven at home and they'll cook just fine. If you've got a wood-fired oven or a pizza oven, I trust me, try this at home because they're delicious. But we're gonna let ours set about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. You're gonna go about 12 minutes at 375. So we're gonna let those do that and we'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, we've got our soup cooking up. We've got our cookies, our ginger cakes in the oven, and now we're gonna put together our orange creams. So first of all, we're gonna start out, we've got sugar, oranges, pretty basic ingredients, a little bit of water and some eggs. So we're gonna make kind of almost a custard, if you will. I'm just a little bit looser than that. So one thing we do is we've got some separated eggs in here. If you've never done it before, I'm just gonna show you a quick easy way to get that separated out. You wanna just keep that yolk in there. Just keep tossing back and forth, play your little game, la 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 la. And then, boop, we're separated, just like that. It's that simple. So we're just gonna now get ready for those. We're gonna start up our heat and we're gonna put in our oranges, our sugar, our water, and mix all of that in the heat and then keep whisking it together for a while. So the first thing I wanna do is get this started, get it heating up a little bit, get it on temp. There we go. All right, get that heating up. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna get some zest out of here. All right, perfect. I'm gonna get nice because put in a little bit of that zest and you don't want to go too far into it because you don't want to get into that white where it gets a little bit bitter, you know. So you just want to get nice, knock on. Oh, so aromatic. I wish you guys could smell that. Smell? Here, get a whiff. Yeah? All right. Very good. So we want to get about 2 of these doing that. Now you can use any kind of oranges. Navel oranges are a little harder to squeeze. I'm going with a clementine here just because I like those a little bit better. The cuties, so they're fun to use and get an extra little bit of sweetness to it. For me, it's a lot of fun. I need some sweetness, all I can get, you know? So we're gonna get that together. There's our rind. I'm gonna put together the juice. And what we do is just take each orange. Now I'm using the clementine, so I'm gonna go about 7 of these, 6 or 7, and then squeeze the juice in. If you're using the bigger oranges, you can go with 4 or 5, so it'll be perfect for you. All right, we start squeezing this juice in there, and then we can throw our rind in with it. We get all that yummalicious flavor. Oh yeah, it's ready to go. All right, I'm gonna turn it down just a touch. Bring that temp down just a little bit. I got a little excited. All right, and we're just gonna keep squeezing those in, get our orange juice in there, and then let the sugar start coming in it. You can start smelling that. Did you see that explosion? I know, it can get messy. I told you, anytime I'm making sweets in the kitchen, it can get messy. Somehow the savory foods, I just cruise right along, but I'm messy with the sweets. Look at that juice. Oh, that's looking beautiful. We're gonna whisk in our sugar in there, whisk in our rind, and then we're gonna put our egg whites. Whisk those up, put those in there, and cook it up until it thickens up a little bit. All right, we got our juice. Here comes the sugar. Now you wanna make sure you don't have it too hot because you don't wanna burn that sugar. So we just wanna get that in, and then you wanna keep on stirring it. And we're gonna bring our water to that. There we go, nice. Very good. A little bit of water, and we're waiting on that to kind of dissolve in there a little bit. We've got it down, got the heat down so it doesn't get too crazy until we're ready to add our egg whites in there. So we've got our rind in here. Go ahead and toss that in so it can get all kinds of aromatics. And there'll be more in our egg whites, which will be nice as we pour that in. Perfect. Egg whites in, and a little whisk. We're just gonna let them get kind of foamy. So you wanna get that elbow grease in there. Make sure you're just giving it a nice whisk and get it just a little bit foamy, and then we're gonna add it to our skillet. I'm gonna turn the heat back up now a little bit. Getting those foamy egg whites, and then we're gonna let this cook up, thicken up, and then I'm gonna show you what we do with the yolks whenever we get ready and thicken this up. Here we go, adding that in just nice and easy. Keep the heat up, and we're gonna let it do its thing. All right, so this is gonna take about 7 to 10 minutes. We're just gonna keep stirring it. It's gonna get thick. I'll see you in just a minute. We'll show you what we're gonna move on from there. Okay, so look at that. It's thickened up nicely. Can you see that there? Beautiful. Now we're just gonna take it off the heat for just a second and put it in our sieve. Sieve it through in here so we get some of that rind out of there. And anything, if you have, sometimes you'll have like a little bit of egg that might cook. So you wanna just kind of get any of that out of that, your mixture. So we're just gonna put it in there, let it drip through. Beautiful. Right, it's coming together. And once we get that done, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna temper it out. We're gonna keep sieving this through, then we're going to take the egg yolks, temper them in a little bit, let them get into this nice light, almost custard, set it aside, let it get room temperature chill, and we'll have our orange creams. So we'll be right back once we get all this sieved through. So we went ahead and did it all sieved through there. We put it back in the pan. Now you wanna make sure you clean the pan in between because we're gonna start fresh with that, and you don't want anything that you just sieved through there to be in there. So we've also taken a little bit of our egg yolks here. You got 5 egg yolks that you've added, and we're gonna put those in here. Now, what you wanna do, because you don't want these to cook, is you wanna make sure that you kind of temper in a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and be able to add it all in there. So this has got a little heat to it, so you just wanna add a little bit to it. Make sure you're getting a nice, quick stir. Temper it in just a little bit. There you go. And you just want to keep flowing with that. All right. Don't want to have your temperature up too high. Just make sure you're just letting it get in there and not cooking those eggs. You don't want to make scrambled eggs here. You want this nice and smooth and deliciousness. So there we go. Finish that up. There we go. We're going to let that just stir around, thicken up a little bit. And like I said, it's almost making like a nice little custard for you. Beautiful, it's thickening up there. Look at that. Oh yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I am loving that. Liking what I'm seeing, liking what I'm smelling. Ready to pull this off. And what we're gonna wanna do with it, set it aside. Once you let it cook up just here a little bit, we're gonna give it a minute or two. Let's put it in a bowl, set it aside, and let it become room temperature. Now, while you're doing that, every once in a while we're finishing up our soup and doing that, you want to run over and just give it a little stir so it doesn't put a skim on top for you, okay? Great, this is looking fantastic. It's almost time to plate up. I hope you're getting as excited as I am. We are about ready to finish up that soup and do all that. This is looking gorgeous. We're gonna let it kind of set, do its thing. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it from the heat. Pour it in here. And as it sets and gets room temperature, it's gonna thicken up for us. And that's how we do it. We'll just set that aside. Guess what time it's to do now? It's time to finish up that curry peanut soup. And I think we're gonna be pulling out some ginger cakes, and then this is gonna be gorgeous and ready for us to go. It's almost time to eat. Again, we are back in time, baby. Let's do this. All right, so we're back to doing the soup. It's time to finish it up. It's been cooking. Just take a look at that. Oh my goodness. Smell that. It's got all that flavor has just gotten in there and just made that party we were talking about. And now it's time to make it a party in our mouth. So we're gonna have a lot of fun here. We're gonna put a little bit of curry. Remember I said that? Now they shipped curry in from the Indies. So India, they bring it in India they had the curry spices. England first started using it and they started shipping it there. Then they started bringing it over to the Americas. So it also fits in our kind of peanut soup going here. Then we're just gonna do a nice, you can do your choice of creamy peanut butter. I like to use the creamy rather than have the nuts in there because we want to make this beautiful, and you'll see how we're going to use our magic wand of the kitchen here, and we're going to make this really smooth, creamy, and delicious. Get all that goodness in there. We add it in. I can smell the curry. I can smell all the spices, and really, you see how we used this peanut butter to get that flavor in there, and then we used the curry, and we didn't use a lot of salt. We didn't even hardly use any, and we got the little bit that was in the broth. Now, you can salt it if you want. Trust me, there's enough in the peanut butter, you really won't need to. So this is just really a healthy, healthy dish. The kids love it. They think they're eating peanut butter. And here we go. The magic wand I was talking about. I use this for almost everything in the kitchen. So we're gonna try to put that together, spin it around, get a nice, and you can just go ahead, got a little heat to it. So we're gonna go ahead and just get down in there and start letting that get nice, and look at that, gorgeous. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there it goes. So you want to just kind of get each of your squash down in there. You can tip it so you can get a little more of that immersion blender going. I do it on high, so just make sure you kind of get that nice and creaminess to it. You almost want to puree it. Now, if you don't have one of these, that's absolutely fine. You can take it, throw it in the blender. Just do little bits at a time because it's really hot, depending on what type of blender that you have. Look at that. Looking gorgeous. Getting it in there. Now it's thickening up, as you can see. Wow, there we go. We've caught hold now. Making it nice, thick. Oh yeah. Now, whenever you want, we're gonna get ready to plate this up. I'm gonna show you how to finish it up. We're gonna pull our cookies out. We're gonna pull our chilled orange cream out, and then we're gonna have everything here ready for me to get to eat. If you want to hurry on, come on and we'll all eat together. All right, we'll be back in just a sec. Okay, it's time to wrap things up. We've got everything put together. We got our soup, we got our orange cream, and now it's time to go get those ginger cakes out of the oven. So here we go. Pulling those out. Oh my goodness, they look gorgeous. Oh yeah. Here we go. We're just gonna slide those in. One might have to just go right in my mouth right away. I don't know. Hot out of here. And when you get these guys and you bring them out of the oven, they're great to enjoy once you let them cool, but make sure you try one hot out of the oven because it is delicious. We're gonna put those just on our little tray like that until I get ready to bite into one. You can add just a nice little bit of powdered sugar to it. Just give it a little, just pretty it up a little bit. Look at that, nice. All right, and then I've got Yorktown coffee, they Mob Jack coffee out of historic Yorktown right here. They brought me a little sip because they take good care of me. All of us as business owners around here, we try to take care of each other. So they know how I wanted to start my day. Unfortunately, she was gonna come and have a cookie with me, but she will soon again. But she didn't forget to bring me a little bit of that delicious coffee that they brew right here, make right here locally. So I'm gonna have a little bit of that. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna plate up our soup. We've got our curry peanut soup here, looking delicious. I'm just bring that in here, put it in our little crock. It smells wonderful. And I am ready to devour. We're gonna have this for a nice little afternoon meal. We'll have that later, but I'm gonna start out with my cookie now, my ginger cake, and then we're gonna put that there. Now, if you wanna make this nice in the bowl, you wanna take just a little bit of sour cream, and then they can stir that in. Just kinda, I like doing just a little pretty little zigzag in there, boop, 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 boop. And then some just fresh roasted peanut, sprinkle on top, kinda chop those up. Look at that, looking beautiful. Check that out. Oh yeah, all right, very nice. Well, I took your taste buds traveling back in time, right here in the Colonial Williamsburg area and historic the Triangle, Jamestown, Yorktown. We're gonna be here, we're gonna be showing you a few more things on the next episode, show you how we're gonna pull some oysters out. You might wanna check that too. So you guys enjoy, come back, see me. We'll keep taking those taste buds traveling.